Well, good morning or good afternoon, everybody. We are on podcast number 16. We have a delightful young sales guy that I had the good fortune of working with a lot a couple of years ago. We actually talked every day for, I think, 6 or 7 months. Um, he lives in the northeastern part of our country where the weather is always sunny and bright and hot and cold. He is with Sotheby's. Justin is 27 years old. We met when he was 20 or 21, and he came to me and said, "I'd like to work with you." So we've had some fun. So please welcome Mr. Justin Torres. Justin, nice to have you here. And I was excited about today because our memory of what we did together is still very strong in my mind. And you look better than ever. You look great for 27. You don't look that good for 21, but 27, you look great. What the heck?
So I keep the
So,
headphones on to hide the grays.
so what year did you get into real estate in terms of age?
I was 20 years old when I got into real estate.
And your mom and dad, I think, were involved in real estate, correct?
No, no, my mom was in advertising, and
Okay.
my dad was property management side of like real estate development.
That's right. Okay, good. Thanks for clarifying that. Um, are you off to a good start?
I'm doing very well. Yes, I'm excited. March was a fun one.
March was a good month for, I think, most of the world, and May should be pretty close to the same as March, April and May, I mean. So tell me, you made a big decision about 4 years ago. You said, "What will it cost to have you coach me?" And we had that program set up, and we had about 15 or 18 people go through that program with me. I think we're at 20 now. And I don't talk about the program much, but I'll share with them, the audience, what you did. I said, I will talk to you and coach you every day, 5 days a week for 6 months, but I charge $50,000 up front. And usually people go, okay, let me think about it. And I never see him again. Justin approached me at one of our events and said, I'd like to work with you. And I said, it's very expensive. He said, I have the money. I said, call me on Monday. We talked and away we went. So I just want to say hats off to you. You are the youngest person that has gone through that program with me, of the 20 that have. So thank you for that contribution to my retirement.
No, thank you for. I'm honestly honored to be of the group because it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So what do you do best? What do you do best as a real estate person?
What do I do best? Aside from smiling, I,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I would probably say um, I ingest information best. When I say ingest information, it's something along the lines of coachability. Because
Yes.
Tony could, or you could really convince me to jump off a bridge, and I would rationalize and say, "Oh, that makes sense. I probably should jump off the bridge." So I think at a young age, I realized that if I wanted to be great, I wrote down a quote that in my mastermind they were talking about it. Bernie had mentioned to somebody in a mastermind, um, our inability to achieve certain goals are defined by are the habits that we choose to, I guess we choose to
Follow.
surround ourselves, yeah, to choose to follow. So when I heard that, it stuck to me. I just heard this last week, but when I heard it, it stuck to me because it's something that I followed without knowing since I was 20. I just
That
knew I
is
wasn't good
great.
at real estate.
So um, you're our 16th podcast. I ask that question almost every time to start. And you're the first person that has said, I think I'm very coachable. And I would say to you, Justin, of all the people I've done this work with, and I've done this work with some pretty successful people, you are probably one of the most coachable young men I've ever met. I have three sons, as you know, Matt, Tom, and Pat, and all three of them have that same attitude. They're very coachable, they're very open to ideas, and that's why they succeed and why you succeed, which is the name of the game. Do you measure your success on income, gross sales, or transactions, or all three?
I would probably say all three. I think at
Okay.
I think at one point I was beating myself up because my income kept increasing, but the transaction count was staying the same. So I was upset that the transaction count wasn't moving up. But then after having just several conversations back and forth, if the bank account's still growing, I probably shouldn't be so hard on myself.
Yeah.
So
Um, what do you need to work on to make sure that you keep growing and building? Because I assume you have a long career in front of you. What do you need to work on now to make that career a better career 1 year, 3 year, 5 years out?
that's interesting you said that because I was right. I actually wrote that down now for our team meeting. I have a team meeting right after this at 1. And the one thing I wrote down is something we've spoken about a lot. And I've spoken with Sabrina a lot, is changing that story in your head and really asking myself, what leaks do I have? Because what I found, what Tony had mentioned to me last week, he said, Justin, I think there's a place in you where you feel comfortable with what you have now, and you're not really pushing yourself to the next level because you're like, huh, I'm fine. Like I know I'm going to close a couple deals, as opposed to having urgency and striving for the next level. So I think that's where, like when I see of when I see when I look at myself and I analyze myself, I'm like, well, the only way I'm going to get to the next level is by changing some of the habits I have.
You know what's interesting about what you just said? When we were working together, the one thing that I wrote down about 10 times, I have more belief in Justin than Justin believes in Justin. And I think that is very normal, especially for the younger people that join real estate that have the level of success that you've enjoyed. Um, it's tougher as people get older to change their belief, but you're still young and ripe to changing the beliefs and strengthening them and building on them. So that makes sense. That is, if you keep the belief that you can continue to get better, you will get better. No question about it. Um, do you prefer taking listings or making buyer controlled sales?
Oh, listings in a heartbeat.
What percentage of your total business is listings versus buyer sales?
It's about 80-20. It's been about
80.
80-20 for the past, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's the number we keep shooting to help our clients attain. Um, do you show property or do you have a teammate that shows property for you?
So I do still show property. I do still
Okay,
show property. To obviously, as so long that that buyer follows my process, from that pre-qualified process to everything of that nature, I'll definitely still go out and show property.
good. And do you have any restrictions as to the prices that you won't go below in terms of showing property?
I never thought about that.
Um, Karen Bernardi, who you have met,
Mhm.
25 years ago, said to me, I'm going to try something different. I said, Karen, what's that? Because she's very open to trying everything she can to improve the quality of her business. And, she is semi retired today, living with Peter in Australia and New Zealand, and still doing 100 deals a year in Colorado by phone and by email. Okay, which is incredible when you think about it. And Karen said, I love showing property. I know I shouldn't enjoy the experience. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a minimum of 400,000 that if they're not going to spend at least that, I'm going to give them to somebody else to work. And I said, that is a great idea. Why don't you do that on listings also?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
Wow.
so she started doing both. So what would be a fair price? Buyers take a lot of time. Buyers are very satisfying to a good salesperson like yourself to help
Mm.
that couple reach that goal of having that home of their dreams. But what would be the minimum that you would not want to sell as to a buyer?
When you were talking about Karen right there, that's the first number I wrote down. I wrote down 400,000 because at
Good,
that point, I think it's at a point of diminishing returns.
good. So the option to that is to hire a buyer's agent. So, of course, the big fad today is build a team. Tell us about what you have for structure and team around you.
So I do have a transaction coordinator.
Okay,
And I did bring up on a buyer's agent the first time this year. But aside from that, I've never really been someone like when I see some of the great producers that you coach, that you still currently coach, I envy them because I'm like, wait a minute, how are they doing? Like, Dan, how are you doing the level of business
yeah.
with, wi- I mean, his efficiency is huge. I mean, I'm sure it's efficiency, it's productivity, but I see that and I'm like, wait, how can I emulate a business of that nature? Because if it's more profitable, and it gives him more liberty, then I'm sure it gives him more peace. So yeah, I'm not
Well,
really big into the huge.
first of all, people say Mike Ferry's against teams. I'm not against teams when the salesperson has leadership skills to build and run a team. Most salespeople in real estate are not business people, they're salespeople. But I think the fallacy with teams is you take a good producer like yourself, or like Bernie or Josh, or some of those people that you have met over the years through Mike Ferry. You take those people and you say, Josh and Bernie can take 150 listings a year easily, 150. But if they give up the 150 listings a year to develop a team that does 800 to 900 deals a year, are they really making more money with this type of a transaction? And what kind of a life do they have? Because now they're on almost on command to a big group of people 24/7. So it's a matter of discipline and restricting your activities. So I would say to a young sales guy like yourself, if you're going to build a team, only build a team that is necessary to handle your excess business.
Mm,
So let's say that you're taking 4 listings a month or 5 a month, and it's a little bit of a burden when you're taking 4 or 5 listings a month, and especially if they're not selling. So all of a sudden now you got 15 listings in inventory, which is now a pretty good sized burden, and you've got 4 buyers agents that are working for you and 2 assistants. When do you have time to sell your listings?
mm,
See, that's the challenge.
yeah.
It's the time factor. So I'm going to say to the world that's watching me talk to Justin, um, don't expand your team until you've spent time talking to me about why you should. And you've been really good about that in the past. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's something to consider.
I
Make
would
sense?
definitely, and no, yeah, I would tell the world the same thing. Listen to Mike.
Good. That's good. So, I would think that your mom and dad, who are very successful and have a good income, if I remember correctly, one of your goals was to earn as much money as they earned together in 1 year. That was one of the first goals you shared with me when we started working together 3 or 4 years ago. Have you accomplished that?
Mike Ferry Events, where top producing agents get sharper. The original real estate coaching. Get registered today and invest in yourself.
Yeah, yes. And we've actually had an addition. So the addition that I'm referring to is I've been blessed with the opportunity through you, through the structure that you provided, to hire my mom. So my mom is my transaction coordinator. She's been with us for about a year. And it's incredible knowing that all the successes that you have in business, you could experience that with the person you want to. And
Yes.
you'll know that there's a different level of trust and care you have for one another, because it's deeper than business. Now we try to keep it very church and state, but we fail a lot and we have a good time.
Yeah. That is great. Okay, so on a totally different line of questioning, we really preach that everybody should role play and practice their scripts and dialogues daily. Do you do that at all?
Yeah, yeah, I
How
still
often?
do.
How often?
So I still do it every morning. I still role play every morning. I
Every
still role
morning?
play. Yeah. Hmm.
Good. And do you have multiple role play partners, or do you just stay with one for an extended period of time?
So I have one every single day. So Monday through Friday, I have one, meaning different one for Monday, a different one for Tuesday, Wednesday,
Oh,
Thursday.
okay. That's good, because
Yeah.
that forces you to have a little more versatility, which
Hmm.
is important. Are you part of a mastermind group?
I am. I sure am. What an incredible mastermind group.
And who are some of the players in the mastermind group?
So it's the mastermind. It's the $50,000 mastermind, which is Melita, Brian Ogletree. We have Wahid. We have Lisa Bernstein, Susan. The list just Melinda. The list is baffling.
That's
Erica
that's
Carrasco.
that's the Tuesday at 1:30
Hmm.
mastermind group. That's a great group of people.
Hmm.
Do you participate? Are you an active member, or do you just listen?
Yeah, no, so I definitely. And that's one thing. With each person leading a call, like we switch each person leading a call, um, and it forces every person on the call to give their 2 cents. And at times when you're speaking to people, it could be overwhelming when you're speaking to somebody like Brian Ogletree, for instance, that has a 400 years of experience. I was like two when he was in the business. So, so he has much more insight than I do, but it's interesting when you see someone like him and they're like, could you send me what you have there for that script? It's like, wow, these people are still fixated on learning.
Yeah. Well, Earl Nightingale said that education never stops. And really, at a good mastermind group, you get education. Do you have anybody that is working as accountability partners with you?
Aside from that mastermind, no. Like you're saying in marketplace?
No, in just among the people that you know in real estate that you've met through us, anybody where you actually say, my goal is to do this and this and this, and your goal is to do this and this and this,
Yes, yeah.
and let's check every week to see how we're doing. Have you got involved in that type of activity?
So I built some close relationships and with
Good.
similar goals,
Yeah,
that we definitely do that.
that's good. So, what is one thing you have to do to make sure you achieve your goal for this year? Which I'm going to ask you what that goal is in a few minutes.
So I think one thing I have to do this year is increase the level of intensity. And for me, it wasn't like, let me stay on the phone for 8 hours, because I would stay on the phone for 8 hours. It was more of the intensity with intention. And when I say that, I mean like
That's good.
I'm getting better results from 4 hours of calls than I was from 8 hours of calls, because
Yeah.
I'm focused, I'm fine-tuned on each. Okay, maybe I don't need to spend 5 hours just listed, just sold.
Yes.
Um, and that was my biggest hurdle. I would say I was more focused on, and this is me just being honest with you, I was more focused on the performance and saying and it being known that Justin works like an animal. Justin makes 6 hours of calls, as opposed to being known for, wow, Justin is a big book of business. Like I was more
Interesting.
focused on the work than the results. Now the results did come, but at times some of that work was nonsense, and it was just dead weight that I could have released.
Yeah. Well, that could be youth. It could be inexperience. And both of those can be solved by more participation. But most importantly is understanding there's a direct correlation between number of calls, intensity of those calls, and results. So it's a three-step process. And I think you're smart enough to understand that, and it sounds like you figured that out. So what is the transaction goal for the year 2026?
This year it's 60 deals this year.
60 deals. And where does that rank you in the office? Are you one of the top producers, or are you like number 24?
No. So yeah, I would be one of definitely of the top producers.
Good for you. That is great. I'm asking this because it's a very common problem. Is there any unintentional jealousy that you're 27 doing 60 deals and this person is 52 and doing 10?
I'm sure there is, but I think I've built this. I guess I'm kind of that guy that's stuck away in a corner, and just I'm known for having a headset on and always talking to somebody. So I never really leave my office space. I don't know what sunlight. I mean sunlight looks like, and it's not just because I'm in Jersey, but I've really I kind of stay tucked away in a corner and in a different side of the office, because I know that could happen where I can get caught with
Yeah,
I guess some of that envy.
I think that type of jealousy is unintentional, but it also, I've seen it have a major effect on, somebody from 35 to 21 who is doing well like you are doing. What is your average commission check?
This year 16.5.
16.5.
Yeah.
I had deals I closed as an agent 55 years ago where my total commission was $165. and we would do the war dance when we got a check, for $200 commission. Man, I'm dancing on my desk. 16.5. Wow, yeah. Good for you. So what will you gross on 60 deals at 16.5?
So that's not even gross. 16.5 is net. What
will you net?
880.
880. That's great. Yeah. Keep it on the round numbers. Don't go 880, 883. What the heck?
No.
So you were very smart with your money when we worked together. Have you maintained that behavior pattern?
It's gone off the rails. No, I'm joking. Yeah, I am I'm still very, I think that could be another issue I have, where there's a level of, I guess, fear, where it's like, hold up, are you spending too much? Should you be spending? What if something happens? And I think I've always been sensible when it comes to spending money, but to a fault. But I do like eating good, so I do eat at some nice restaurants every now and then. I'm not going to say I don't. But yeah, Tony's definitely pushing me out. I mean, Tony wanted me to go. He said, every Friday, I want you to go to the nicest restaurant near you and call it Wealthy Fridays. And for me, I was like, have lunch at the high-end place. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I was breaking that dollar per dollar. I'm like, Tony, you got to be kidding me. But he's trying to push me to say, if you're out of your comfort zone,
yeah,
you're going to inadvertently do more business.
Well, Tony's a great coach, but I suspect that your mom and dad had a lot of influence on you in this area of money.
When it comes to saving it?
saving.
Yes, yeah, they definitely, because when you come, obviously Dave dealt with much more than I have, but when they came from rock bottom and not having anything, once you start developing some money, it's like, could we lose it? It's that fear of scarcity.
Yes, which is very common.
Mhm.
So we're going to do a seminar together. There's going to be 100 people. They're new licensees. They've all been, say, 6 months or less. I've been talking about Justin Torres for months to these people. They can't wait to hear what your message is. What is the first thing you would tell this audience of 100 new licensees that is, for goodness sakes, absolutely they have to do it? What would that message be?
Most agents scroll. Top agents study. Follow Mike Ferry on all platforms and think like top real estate agents do.
All right, let me think about this. I would probably, I would say this. I had this conversation at a team meeting, maybe 2 weeks back, and I said, there's a big difference between being interested in real estate and being committed in real estate.
Yeah.
Now, when you're committed, you find a Mike Ferry. When you're committed, through Mike Ferry, you talk to a Bernie Gallerini because you're so committed that the fear of me being around someone of that success, of that stature, it kind of dwindles because you're like, I have to do this. So there's the most successful, the top producers, the people that really make a leap in this industry, they're obsessed with it. They're fanatical about everything.
Yes.
And then you'll bump into, then you'll fixate on making calls. You'll fixate on handling the objection. You'll fixate on finding a great coach. But if you're really kind of, I say this to all of the younger people in our office, and I used to say this in my old office, I said, if your only goal in this business is to make some money, once you get $100,000, once you save $100,000, your schedule will go from, you'll go from going to get into the office at 7:30 to get into the office at 10 to getting to the office at 1, because your interest was money. If your interest is perfection and really living up to your potential, you're going to see a different outcome. It's not going to be an option.
Different activities, different outcome.
Mm-hmm.
That is great. I think they're giving you a standing ovation because that is great. That is great advice. No question about it. One of the things that's kind of fun about doing these, we have a young fellow on our staff who is, Dakota is 27? 26. And
Nice.
He's the guy that's handling all the production of this podcast today. And it's so much fun to watch him taking notes as fast as he can when we do these, because everything that we talk about in sales, he talks about it in terms of building his expertise on producing great podcasts for the company. So it's kind of fun. We got a twofer today. We got Justin Torres and we got Dakota. So it's kind of fun. So we're at 28 minutes already, which is, I'm always amazed at how fast the time goes by. Am I going to see you in June?
I'm like, you could want to see me tomorrow and I will be there, but yes, you will see me in June. I told you this from the beginning. If you're giving us the time, so I told you this from the beginning. If you're giving us the time, I am very greedy with your time. So if I could take more of your time, I'm all for it.
You're welcome to call, write, text, that's for sure. That group of 20 are very special people. And you're in a mastermind group with that whole group. And there's a new couple that's going to be coming in. I think they've gone to 1 or 2 meetings. Patrick Cody, the big guy, and his beautiful wife, Marianne, who's about half his height, which is, it's so cute to watch them together, and he is highly amiable and she is a little driver, and it is so much fun to work with them every day. In fact, after we're done here, I have to call him and talk to him. So it'd be fun.
That's amazing.
Well,
he's in Jersey as well.
Yeah, that's right. He's not
Mhm.
too far from you.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's for sure. Maybe you guys could connect and have lunch.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that case. So your homework assignment is to call Pat Cody and tell him that Mike wants the three of you to have lunch.
We'll do that. We'll definitely do that.
Yeah, that'd be a good experience for you and for them. So on behalf of, we are very fortunate. We have a lot of viewers of these podcasts. So on behalf of a big group of people, we want to say thank you. Keep up the good work. Keep up the great attitude, which I know you will do. And he has an expression, Dakota, that he uses when you first greet him. He'll say, "Happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday." And I've never asked him why he does it, but every time he does it, I get a smile on my face. So happy noon your time today. Happy noon your time today. We will see you in June and talk to you before.
See
Thanks
you
for,
soon, Mike.
thank you.